Hey everyone! Today I'm sharing a process video for my Me, Myself, and I 6x8 album, and I'm using the Layered Life Starlite Retreat scrapbooking kit that just released last month. I'm still working on this list of prompts from Heba Elsabai, aka My Little Journal, here on YouTube, and I'm going to be making an interactive layout documenting self-care. So I have this photo of me, and I'm sleeping on the couch, and this is after an extremely long day at work, and I have the photo printed out at approximately 4 3/4 inches wide by 8 3/8 inches tall, and that's the same height as outside the page protector for one of these 6x8 albums. And then I have a journaling spot just to the right of that, just on a white background that's about 2 1/4 inches wide by the same height, so 8 3/8 inches tall. And I've just printed that out on the same piece of glossy photo paper so that it's like a whole page here. So my idea for this layout is to create a sort of vellum overlay over the top of my photo as well as the journaling spot, and cover the front part of the vellum overlay with some of the embellishments that came in this Layered Life kit. And when you flip the vellum page over, that's where you can see the photo and the journaling underneath. So I've cut a piece of vellum down to 8 1/2 inches tall by just under 7 inches wide. So this is approximately 6 1/2 inches wide, because I don't want this to interfere with the hole punches that I'm going to need for putting this page into my album. And I'm just going to score at the very top edge at about 1/4 inch so that I can use this as a little hinge and attach it to the back of my page so that I can attach the vellum onto the back of my page. Before I attach my vellum page to the back of my photo page, I am just going to punch a circle on the vellum where my head is going to lie beneath on the photo, so that you can still see my face even through the vellum. I just didn't want that part of this layout to be covered a whole lot by the vellum. So I'm just taking my EK Success circle punch. This is the 2 1/2 inch, I believe, and just punching it along that left side of the vellum there. And there you can see my head is just peeking out from inside that circle. Now that that's done, I'm just going to use my 1/8 inch score tape to adhere that vellum page onto the back of my photo page. And I did have to trim off a tiny bit along the bottom of that vellum page just so that it's not quite overhanging the bottom edge of my photo page there. So just using some score tape to secure that into place. And once that's done, I'm going to start rearranging my ephemera pieces over the top of this vellum overlay. So the reason why I was so inspired to document this prompt using this kit is because there are a lot of ephemera pieces in here that remind me of being an introvert. So I'm kind of like half an extrovert and half an introvert, but I find after a long day that sometimes that extroverted part of me really gets drained, so I'm left with kind of an introverted part that just kind of wants to sleep and not talk to anyone. And a lot of these ephemera pieces kind of reflect that. So for example, that large Q with the word quiet, that large H with the word home, and it even says no plans on there. There's that bottom of the ticket stub that I had used in my last Layered Life layout that just says number 1 solo, and then there's even like a word strip that says introvert and one that says recharge that I'm using as well. And then that M piece says -1 to the party, which I thought completely reflected my mood for this day. And as I'm laying all of these embellishments on top of my vellum piece, I'm making sure not to cover up that window where my head is. I do want to make sure that I can see my face. And the idea is I want this page to look almost too busy with ephemera pieces. And then once you flip the page over, I want that to be kind of simple with just the photo of myself and the journaling beside it, so that it's kind of like extrovert time and then introvert time when you flip the page over. I do want this to be kind of an organized sort of chaos though. So you'll notice that I'm kind of lining up some of those ephemera pieces along some of the edges. So for example, that bottom part of the Q ephemera piece is lined up with the bottom part of that number 1 solo piece. And then those sides are kind of lined up with the side of the hotel door ephemera piece that's below that. And so it's kind of an organized chaos that I have going on here. You'll notice that as I'm adhering these down, I'm using my Tombow Mono permanent adhesive tape runner, and I'm making sure not to put adhesive on the backs of those ephemera pieces that are going to be overlapping that circle, because I don't want to get any adhesive from those ephemera pieces onto my photo. It's notoriously hard to get adhesive off of glossy surfaces like this glossy photo paper that I'm using. So I'm just being very careful to make sure that I don't get any adhesive on that photo paper. You'll notice here that I have that pink ephemera piece with the yellow circles all around it, kind of just chilling out there. I'm not adhering that down at all. And that's because I'm going to be folding that in half later and turning that into kind of like a flip tab to indicate that this vellum piece can be flipped up. Most of the pieces that I'm using here are the Mix It Up ephemera pieces from that Mix It Up ephemera pack. I do have a couple of the Mishap alpha cards that I'm using, the Q, the H, and the M, and then the Recharge word strip, as well as that patterned yellow card that I have on the right side are from the mini pattern cards set. And here's where I'm turning that yellow and pink ephemera piece into a tab. So I'm just folding it in half and then kind of overhanging that rounded edge over the edge of my vellum piece there. And then I'm just drawing a line with my pencil to indicate where I want this to slip through my vellum page. And then just using my self-healing mat and a cutting tool to cut this open. And then I'm just sliding that ephemera piece through that slit so that it can be threaded through that vellum. I just love the bright and vibrant colors in this kit as well, especially that red strip of patterned paper with the little squigglies on it. It was really fun to cut that into different pieces and kind of fill in the blank spots all around my collage here. As I'm putting this collage together, I'm also making sure that on all 4 sides of the vellum, I do have some ephemera pieces interacting with the edges, like going over them so that I can cut the extras off at the end. And to me, that just makes for a more cohesive page, and it looks like the ephemera pieces are kind of purposeful and not just randomly floating around on this vellum page here. Just finishing up this pattern card here with some puffy alphabet stickers from Citrus Twist Kits. These ones are a nice warm gold, which I thought would fit really well with this nice warm theme that I have going on in the rest of this page. And of course, I just had to add a little puffy heart sticker below that self-care as well. Here, I'm just pulling out my Citrus Twist Kits stickers and picking out a nice warm-toned red one to go with the rest of my page. Just adding some final finishing touches here, including adhering that fold over tab onto itself, as well as trimming off the bottom parts that are overhanging off the bottom edge of my vellum piece here. For the -1 to the party ephemera piece, I did save that bottommost part that I trimmed off, and I'm going to use that to fill up the top portion above the 1 solo ephemera piece. And that just completes the nice triad of blue tones that I have scattered over this vellum page. Finally, just punching the hole in my tab, I just want to make sure that I can thread some twine or ribbon through there. And I ended up going through my entire stash of ribbons and picking out this burlap ribbon here. I just thought that matched the neutral and warm tones of this page really well. So just fiddling around with this ribbon a bit before I'm stapling it together using my tiny attacher. And once that's done, I'm going to add a speech bubble to the photo underneath, just kind of decorating it simply. This one says, "Do not disturb, please," and this is from Layered Life's pink Royal Hawaiian kit. And I've also added a leftover piece of that red pattern paper with the red squiggly lines to decorate the top of my journaling spot. And that finishes up my layout for today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. If you liked this video, then make sure to give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more process videos. Thanks so much for watching.